All right, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. Your project's being pulled in what feels like a million different directions at once. It's chaotic. Well, today we're going to tackle that chaos head on. We're breaking down two of the most powerful tools you've got, understanding your stakeholders and, you guessed it, building a killer communication plan. Let's dive right in.
I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're finally in the zone, actually getting stuff done, and suddenly, it's like everyone has a question. Your manager pings you for a status update, the client emails asking for a progress report, your team's asking what's next. It's like, who are all these people and why does everyone need something from you like right now?
Well, in the project management world, there's actually a name for every single one of them: stakeholders. Now, the official textbook definition is pretty broad. It says they're any individuals, groups, or organizations that are affected by your project or, and this is the really important part, can influence its outcome.
But let's be real, the definition we all feel in our gut is way more direct. A stakeholder? That's basically anyone who can just pop up out of nowhere, ask, "So, what's happening with this project?" and then expect you to have a perfect, ready-to-go answer right there on the spot. Yeah, that's the real-world definition.
Okay, so these stakeholders aren't just some big, faceless mob. We can actually split them into two main groups. First up, you've got your internal stakeholders. These are the people inside your organization. Think your project team, your manager, company execs, and then you've got the external stakeholders. That's everyone on the outside, clients, suppliers, maybe even the government.
And let's be honest, we all know our internal stakeholders pretty well, right? They're your team, your crew, the people right there in the trenches with you. The same people who can look you dead in the eye and say, "Oh yeah, we're totally on track," even when you both know everything is, well, on fire.
Now, external stakeholders, they see a totally different picture. They don't see the late nights. They don't know about those heroic last-minute fixes. Nope. They just want results. And usually, they wanted them yesterday. For them, it's all about the outcome, not the messy journey to get there.
So, why all this fuss about them? Why do they matter so much? Simple. Stakeholders are the lifeblood of your project. They're the ones who provide the resources, who give you the approvals, who offer that critical feedback, and who give you the support you need. Think of it like a two-way street. If you don't manage that traffic, you're headed for a total gridlock. And trust me, if you ignore that traffic, your project can go from a well-oiled machine to a surprise horror movie, like real quick. You know the kind I'm talking about? Jump scares during status meetings, a plot that makes absolutely zero sense, and yeah, a really, really bad ending. So, how do we avoid starring in that horror film? We start by analyzing our audience. And one of the absolute best tools for this is something called the Power Interest Grid. It's basically a strategic map to help you figure out where you need to focus your precious time and energy. The grid itself is actually super simple. You just plot out every stakeholder based on two things: how much power they have to affect the project and how much interest they have in it. This gives you 4 quadrants, each with its own game plan. The people with high power and high interest, you gotta manage them closely. Low power but still highly interested, just keep them in the loop. The folks with low power and low interest, you just monitor them. But that keep satisfied box, that one is key. These are the high power, low interest people. They might not seem to care right now, but if something goes wrong, they can become very interested very fast. And they have the power to cause big problems. Look, if the whole grid thing feels a bit too academic, just boil it all down to this one simple question. Who can completely destroy my project? Figure out who that is, and then, yeah, just keep them happy.
All right, so once you've figured out who you need to focus on, it's time to go from just analyzing to actually doing. This is where you stop just reacting to questions and start getting ahead of them. And you do that with your secret weapon, the communication plan.
And yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a formal plan that spells out how, when, and what information gets shared with who. The goal here is super simple. Get the right info to the right people at the right time, every single time.
And building one is all about answering 4 basic questions for each of your stakeholder groups. First, who are we talking to? Second, what information do they actually need to know? Third, how are they going to get it? Is it an email, a meeting, a report? And finally, number 4, when are they going to get it? Is it daily, weekly, monthly?
Or, to put it another way, your communication plan is basically your guide to who you need to update, what you need to tell them, and maybe most importantly, how to avoid getting yelled at. It's like your project's personal defense system against all that chaos.
Okay, so all this theory is great, but what does this actually look like day to day? Let's run through a quick example. You'll see just how much of a difference a simple plan can make. So let's say this is your communication plan.
For the client, they get a clear progress report by email every single week. No surprises. For your team, you have a quick daily stand-up meeting to sync up on tasks. Everyone knows what they're doing. And for your manager, they get a high-level status report in a presentation once a month. See? Every stakeholder gets exactly what they need, when and how they need it.
Because let's think about what they're really asking. When a client asks for a progress report, what they're actually saying is, are we still on track? Your weekly email has to answer that.
Your team, on the other hand, they're focused on right now. That daily meeting isn't about the 5-year plan. It's all about answering one simple, crucial question. What are we doing today? And what about your manager? They're looking down from 30,000 feet. That monthly presentation needs to answer their core question, which is simply, show me the results. They want to see the progress, the numbers, the value.
I mean, the difference this makes is just night and day. With a good plan, you get clarity, you get coordination, everybody's on the same page. Without one, you get confusion and delays. And here's the classic mistake, thinking that no news is good news. It almost never is. That's when you hear those dreaded words. Wait a minute, I thought you were doing that.
So if there's just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Successful projects are not just about tasks and deadlines. They're not just about the technical stuff. At their very core, they are about managing people. Because when you handle the people properly, when you really understand what they need and communicate effectively, your project doesn't just survive, it actually thrives.
Hey, if this helped you make a little more sense of your own project chaos, make sure you like this and subscribe to the channel Learn with S5, because I've got a lot more coming your way. And you know what? I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest stakeholder communication nightmare you've ever faced? Drop a comment below and let me know. Thanks for tuning in.